What's up, brick builders? Today's build is the Hot Rod, set number 42022. Year it came out was 2014. The age group you're looking at 9 to 16, and number of parts is 414. That's quite a lot of parts. Price per piece 7 pence. That's not too bad. Cost when it was brand new, 2014, you're looking at $29.99. Value currently now sealed and in mint condition, you're looking at £64. Not too bad for an investment. Used, you're looking at 13 to 19. So if you've got one used, it's not really worth all that much for an investment. Hello, it's Shaun from BRIT'N Bricks. How you doing, folks? Yep, we got Shadow Rock, lovely cup of tea, if there is tea in there. This is another James Yorke challenge. This is a Technic build, and yeah, 414 pieces. It's going to be a lot of small parts. Let's crack on. All right, there we go. All right, there we got the Lego man holding the cup there. I'll move that out of the way. Here's our parts. So got some rubber thick tires, two different types of tires there. So front and back wheels. So we'll move those out of the way because they're quite big. Make sure that there's no pieces in there, because last thing I want is to lose some pieces only to find out they're in the tires. We've got a couple of Technic beams, so we'll move those over aside as well. We've got the rims. Let's put the rims over there. Panels, so we'll move panels out of the way as well. And more beams. I'll try and separate as many beams as I can, just to make it a little bit easier to see the smaller parts. And it looks like we got a good few axles in here as well. You want to hold that? Go get the camera right. There you go. He's holding it. I'll leave it here. It looks like he's... There you go. That's great. That is great. All right, anyway. Let's not get sidetracked. A couple of engine blocks, because we got piston driven engine, which is kind of cool. So we've got 6 of those by the looks of things. Nice. Right. First of all, we need to get the instructions up. And there are the instructions for you guys, just to follow along if you'd like to. Sorry about that. Just getting that cup of tea. All right, so the first part is the coat hangers and a tan pin with axle. All right, so coat hangers, 2 coat hangers, tan pin with axle. There we go. Tan pin with an axle. And this is going to go... It's going to go in through that, so that's poking out. No, maybe it goes this way. I don't think it does. No, so it's going to go this way. It's going to go this way. All right, put the other coat hanger on the back. We got that, and then we've got 8 long axle with a stopper on the end. And what looks like a moon gear all the way to the back, and then that's going to go into that hole there. A 15 long beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's quite a long beam. And is going to come in the back there, one hole, and then the axle through, and it's going to get secured in by a yellow bushing. So next part is a red pin with blue axle pin. So red pin with blue axle pin going in the back. Can't hold anything today. And then this is going to go in there and through the middle of that, in through the middle of the coat hanger. And then we've got a big red bushing on the end of this tan like that. That's stage 4. Stage 5 is 4 black pins, so one's going in there, and then we've got a 3 hole, 1, 2, 3, and then a pin in there, pin next to it, and then a pin next to that, but on the other side. Hope I got this right. And we have a couple of more black pins going in here. 3, okay. So we got 1 in there. I'll take the stuff closest to me so I can clear the area. So it's 2 next to each other, then it's a hole and then a pin. So 1 in there, and then the blue, the big blue L shape is going to go right there. And it looks like we've got a tan pin with axle, short one. There we go. Tan pin with axle, short one. It's frictionless, so it's supposed to move. So there's going to be a gear on that, which is going to rotate. So it's a bigger gear, this one here, and that's going to spin that. Cool. You know it works right. And oh, we're extending. Okay. So we've got another 15 bar. So just compare it to the size of the other one instead of counting the holes. And we've got 1 pin sitting there. And then there's a blue pin going in short ways in, and then a black pin following that blue pin like that. So you can see the size of the car now. It's going to be quite a big car. 414 parts. I'd probably hope so. Right, I'll put that there for now. It looks like we're building some bobbly gear stuff. All right, so we got 3 axle, yellow bobbly gear. I like to call that yellow bobbly gear. Put your thumb or finger behind the bobbly gear and push the axle until you feel it, because you're not pushing it all the way through. Although you're going to be putting some stuff on it, it might be worth just keeping your thumb behind it just to stop it from moving around. So we're going to add that to that, and then we're going to put a sleeve on top of that to keep that connector in place. See, I just pushed that axle just a little bit. There we go. And that should spin. Okay, so next we got a 9 long axle. I'm thinking that's a 9 long. And that's going to connect to the back of the connector. And then we got 2 blue pins with axle. Just push that in a bit much. 2 blue pins with axle going in the end here, and it's axle hole. So the pin hole is going to be on the outside. so. That is stage 3 of that one. And so we got another 3-axle and another connector. Okay, so we've got a connector and another 3-axle. There we go, 3-axle. So it's like that. And then we've got another connector going across. And then it's going to have another black connector to secure that in place. And then where's the connector? There it is. So that's going to go there, and then we've got a black sleeve on there, like that. Next we've got some gear work and what looks like a 4-axle. Okay, so we've got 4 axles are going in either side of this connector here, and then we've got a 6-axle going in here. Okay. So these are 4 axles, slightly longer than the grey 3. And remember, the black axles, mostly the black axles are the even numbers, and the grey axles are the odd numbers. It's a good way to remember it. And then we want a 6-axle, so that's a 4-axle. So we want one a little bit bigger than that. Like that one. It goes in the back of that. And then we've got a big gear going on the end. Now, I'm not sure if it goes all the way to the end. No, it's showing in that diagram that it's a quarter of the way down that axle there. And then we're going to attach this to the framework that we were building. And so this piece is going to go through that gap there. Okay, that doesn't meet up. Maybe it's not supposed to. Not sure. And then we got a connector going across here, and then we're going to secure it in place with some 5 axles. Right, okay, so we've got connector. There's a connector. I got to kind of hold this in place while it's sitting there. And then you've got 5-axle here. I'm going to put the 5-axle in this side first, just to hold that connector in place like that, because that's what's going to happen. A little bit fiddly. There we go. Got it. Now it's in place. And another 5-axle there, like that. Oh, okay, so it's still prone to falling off. Okay, so I didn't push that axle through enough. I think that's it, because then once we got the other side of the framework, it's going to match up with that, because that's shorter at the moment. All right, so we got a 7-axle, so again, it's an odd number, so it's grey, so it's going to be this one. And we got a red bushing, it's going to go all the way down the middle, like so. And we got some L-shaped plates. The L-shaped plates are going to go on the behind the bushing, and they're going to go side by side. So you got a thick L shape like that, and then we've got blue pin going in here, short end first, and that kind of goes through both because they're plates instead of beams. Then we got a 3-axle going in the top of the L shape. We got a 3-axle. There we go. Put your finger, thumb. In this case, my finger's behind it. Push the axle all the way through until you just feel it tickling your fingertip, then stop. And then we got a 5-axle going in the elbow of the L shape. So we want 5-axle. A 5-axle would be nice. they're hiding now. They're hiding. Gotcha. Again, got my finger behind it. Just push it through until it starts to tickle. There we go. And you should have smooth edge like that. Although this one looks like it's going to go through a little bit more. So I'm going to push that just a touch. You can see on the diagram there's just a little piece sticking out. Double check the diagram to the piece. Looks good. Then we got a small black L shape. And that is going to go on the pin and that axle that we just pushed through. And it's going to be up. So it's like a gun. And then we got connector going up from here from the free axle. So we want one of those connectors there. It's facing up. Just slightly push that axle through. Just smooth that out a little bit. And then we're going to close it off with the L shape on the other side. So that kind of means that we're done there. Now you've got to locate the longest one first. It's easier. And then just locate the last axle. They're a little bit easier to locate than pins are. Pins can be a little bit more trickier. Just push that axle through. There we go. I just pushed it through a little bit too much. Right, so where's the other L-shaped plate? There it is. Again, long axle first, second long, and then the shortest one, and it should match up with the other side. Perfect. There's no axle poking through, no axle poking through. It looks good. And then we've got two black pins that are going in here. So two short black pins. So push that through because it's plates, so you need to try and push them through. If they don't go through, just give it a little bit of a wiggle. And we got to locate this. Okay, so that should have gone in there. Locate this. It's going to go right on the end. So this last axle here is going to go right on the end like that. Interesting. Another 15 bar. So 15 bar. And I'm guessing we're closing off the other side. So we'll pop that down for now. So we got this. So we got black pin going in the first hole, working from behind again. And then a 3-hole, 1, 2, 3. So the 4th hole has a pin. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got a blue pin, short end in first, and then a black pin. The blue pin marks the black where the black pin goes next, or you could just count a hole space. We got some more bobbly gears. We got some connectors with some pins with some ball joints on. There you go. It's the pin with ball joint. Connector. There's one. It's just going to go in one end. And then we got an axle with, it's a 4-long axle. So it's a short axle with a stopper on the end. Dark bluish grey. There we go. That's a 4-long axle with a stopper. So that's just going to go through the axle hole on the other side. So the axle's facing or pointing out the same way as the ball joint. And then this is going to connect to, well, it looks like 2 holes, 1, 2. So it's going to go through there. And then a bobbly gear on the end of that. Put bobbly gear on. And this looks like this is going to do some sort of rocking motion. And that looks like that ball joint's stopping the bar from doing a full rotation. I'm only guessing. Right, so we've got a connector going on the back of here. Black connector. Black connector. There's one. I see a closer one now. And then a red axle which is usually a 2. The 2 axles can, or 2 long axles can come in black as well. And then we're going to join that on the end of this, and everything should marry up like, okay, so this is going to go behind and the bobbly gears should meet. It looks good. I'm just going to rotate this bobbly gear. Now then, we've got a pin to locate, which is what I was talking about earlier on. There's 2 there. Just give them a bit of a wiggle, and eventually they marry up. Right, and then you should have that. The 2 bobbly gears meeting up, that arm moving, this gear's rotating it. What it is, could be steering. Could be steering, I don't know. We will find out. And so we got a 7-axle, black pin, a bend connector, an angle connector. This looks like a 5 possibly. And so that's going to go through here. And this is how to build it. Right, so we want periscope. There's our periscope. We want black pin. So black pin. Have it facing the way it's showing in the instructions. And an angled, and it is a 5. I was right. Look at that. And that's going to go on the end of the black pin like that. And then you've got your 7-axle is going to go in the angle connector, not the periscope. Okay. And then that's going to pop in right after this L shape here, and really the only gap that it can go. So like that. And then the periscope is going to connect to that axle there. You know, then you got it right. So it's like that. It's pretty solid. These axles meet up together, so we know we've got the axles in the right place. Awesome. And then we go do the other side. Okay. Periscope. Periscope, periscope, periscope. Well, there's the angle. I got the angle. We need a black pin. So the black pin goes into the elbow of the angle. And then the periscope, there it is, on the end of the black pin. And just turn that around. And then that fits on to the other end of these 2 axles there. So you kind of mirrored the other side. Ooh, and then we got an interesting axle here. Dark bluish grey axle, quite long. Has been used quite a lot in some of these Technic builds. It's got an axle, it's got a collar to stop things moving through, and then a longer axle on the other side. Quite a common piece now. Now then, this is going to go into a small gear upside down, and it's going to be the short axle is going to go in there so it don't go for any further. So that stops the gear from slipping up and down the axle. It's a very handy part. Then we've got a connector going down, and hey, there's a blue piece in there. I don't know how I'm going to get that out. I'll use the blue pen. Okay, there we go. So drop that on top like that, and it should allow the gear to move. Then we got 2 blue pins with the axle into the holes. Oops, like that. And then this is going to locate in the top of the coat hanger. And the gear should meet up with the black gear here. So this is going to take a little bit of doing because it's really close to it. There we go. And it just dropped down. So now it should move. And that could be hand of God steering. It could be hand of God steering. If you have trouble with the gear, just have a little bit of patience with it. It should drop behind the black gear there. as you can see there. It will go. Just be very gentle and patient. All right, so we got an coat hanger, 2 coat hangers. So we're going to be closing off this side here. That's what we're going to be doing. So 2 coat hangers, 2 coat hangers. There we go. And tan pin with axle. Find one. Tan pin with axle. They're hiding. There it is. And that is going to go short end in first, like so. And then we've got the 8 axle with stopper and the red sleeve, red bushing in and all the way down to the end. Then this is going to go through the next hole next to the tan axle, and we got 15 bar. No, we got 15 bar. That's the longest bar that we got. It's going to go in the very end, and I'm building it from the wrong side. So if I do, no, hang on a minute. There we go. I got it. No. Yes. Because we got the red pin with the blue axle going in there as well. So there's the red pin and the blue axle with pin. Still doesn't stop this falling out just yet. Not until we put the bushing. And we're putting 2 bushings on this time. Maybe I was supposed to have put 2 bushings on the other one. I will double check that. We'll double check that quickly. So it's 2 bushings on there. Because you see I've put only 1 bushing on there. We'll quickly have a look at that. Yes, I missed a bushing. Oh, I missed a bushing. Right, so it goes on there like that. That could have caused some sort of interesting problems later on. I'll be like, why isn't it not fitting? Right, so then we got the blue L shape going on. We got black pin here. The easiest way to do this one is, instead of putting them in the bar, is put them in the end here. So the black pins, not blue. Black pin, 1 in one end, because that's what it looks like in the diagram, and then 1 in the other. And this is like a bed, so it's in the base of the headboard and end of the bed. And then locate the pins into the bar like that. It's a little bit of an easier roundabout way of doing it. 2 black pins. Yeah, I'm seeing 1 coming in this side. So 1 in there. And then opposite is another one. Like that. So they're kind of staggered. And then this is going to meet up with this part here. Now, you're going to have to... Your guides are... There's several... This axle is going to go into the coat hanger, which is a fairly reasonable guide on where you're going to put this item. And then push it all the way down until you start to meet these pins here. And then marry the pins up, give them a little bit of a wiggle and a push, and then don't forget your blue pin at the top here. Give that a bit of a wiggle, and then it should all fit into place like so. Nice. All right. Oh, that's okay. That's interesting. So we got some bar work. We've got some 7 axle. There's a 7 axle and a periscope on the end of the 7 axle. Right. So periscope, and it's showing specifically the holes facing up. And then we got a grey bushing Grey bushing, same size as the yellow one. Honestly, I don't know the difference between the effectiveness of a grey one to the yellow one. It might be the holes, the axle hole. Push that all the way home, and then we've got a plate, 2-axle plate with a 3-axle going through it. I've got 3-axle. Put your finger behind it, push it through the plate, tickles your finger straight away, and then this is going to go. Remember your holes facing up, and then this is going to go into the other thing. So you got like that. Then you got 2 more plates that are going in, and they're going to go back to back. Okay, so 2 more grey 2-hole axle hole plates. 1. Then you go slightly push the axle through, just poke it back. 1 more plate would be fantastic. There it is. Okay. Starting to see some gaps now in the Lego pieces. Put my thumb behind, and then we got a big bushing going in behind that. So I did see quite a few of those somewhere. Those are the small ones. There we are. And that's going to go in like that. Cool. Looks like some sort of weapon. So this is going to go into the back end. So you turn the model around, and you got this black piece poking out here, and it's the bottom axle is going to go through like that. That bottom axle definitely looks longer than what I'm using there. I don't know what the story of that is. It is a 3-axle, yeah. Okay. Oh, it's just one plate that's going behind. That's why. It's just enough for a plate to grab. I'm going to just slightly push that through a little bit more. So there's another plate that's going behind it. Running out of these plates. There's one. Slide that down the long axle. Close it off. And then it's going to be closed off with a long bushing grey. There's another one. Push that down there. And then we got another bushing, short bushing. Okay. It's going down there. And then a periscope. But that's way long. Am I using the wrong axle? Is that a 7-axle? Yeah, I might be using a 9-axle then. Which could be the reason why some of it, oops, is not going together as it should. Yeah, that could be a 9-axle. I got a little bit carried away there. Push that down. Now we got to rebuild. So that's going to go through the beam. Poke that axle through just a touch. Then pop the plate on. Then pop the bushings back on, and there's plenty of room, just enough room for another periscope. Make sure the hole's facing up the same way as the other one. Perfect. Yeah, that's a 7. That's a 9. And this looks like the steering. Okay, this is interesting. So we got a 9-hole Technic beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 2 grey. So I think the grey pins are frictionless. Yes, they are. So they don't hold. So they just spin. and they're designed to do that. And yeah, this is going to be like the steering rack, which is why they're frictionless. So both of them should spin. And then what we've got is a H shape, 2 of those. Oh, there's another engine block. And another H shape, there it is. So 2 H shapes and 4 axle with a stopper. So the 4 axle with a stopper. We're going to build it the way it's showing on here. So we need 2 short bushings. 2 short grey bushings. 1. 2. And we got to build 2 of those. So another dark bluish grey axle with stopper, and then 2 short bushings. There's 1. Probably getting low on these now. Oh, bushing, there you are. Right, so pop them on there like that, and then these are going to connect. Oh, I see. These are going to connect in the middle there, so you got that kind of rocking motion. Make sure your axles are facing both the same way. In this case, oh yeah, you know what? Never mind. Practice what you preach. I'm going to put them on the wrong way. Right, yes. So make sure your axles are facing the same way and not one being this side, one being on this side, if you see what I mean. They should be both be like at the front or to the right, to the left. And they should have rocking motion there, because we're going to attach a bar, 2 bars actually, on the bottom. So 2 pins to locate. This could be a bit tricky because it's all moving parts, but once you got 1 in, it should be a lot easier. Like that. And now you got your steering rack, and it should just go like that. Cool. So we've got a crank arm and another one of those pins with a ball joint on the end. Try not to bury some parts. Crank arm. There's a crank arm. Looks like a crank arm. And a pin with ball joint. There it is. And it's going to go. So you crank long piece of the handle of a crank. If you think it's a crank, the ball joint's going to go in on the back end like that. And then this is going to attach to the other side of the H block, or the H Brit, opposite the axle. So the ball joint is on the same part or same side as the axle. See that? We're just doing one of those. Looks like it. Okay. Oh, I see. There's going to be an arm. Right. Okay. So then this is going to fit on this part here. It's going to fit. How is that going to fit? Oh, I see. Right. Yeah. Periscopes. Periscopes are going to connect to these pins here. I was a little bit worried there. So periscopes to there, and you should still have free movement here. And it looks like we're going to have a bar joining this ball joint, which is going to be joining this, and that's going to be, and that's your hand to God steering. That's exactly what it is. So we got one of those. There it is. Way to connect this would be, I would do steering first maybe, because it does move. There you go. Not quite there, is it? I wonder if this is easier this way. And it does have quite a bit of resistance. But it should snap into place like so. And then just attach the other one to the other ball joint like that. And then hand of God steering, look at that. That's exactly what that is. It's pretty clever, simple mechanism, to be fair. And then these look like your drive wheels. Okay, so setting this aside, got 11 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 2 pins, 3 pins. So 1 pin is going in the far end there, and then 2 on the other end next to each other. So 1, 2. Keeping it that way, we got 2 pins going next to this one here on the opposite side. So it's 1, 2, and then we got a blue pin coming in, 2 holes, and it's going in long ways, so it's going to go half in, it's going to be halfway. And then we're going to be attaching a grey bar to that. What is that, a 5? It looks like a 5. It's going to go on there like that. Looks good. And then we've got a 2-hole connector, dark bluish grey by the looks of things. Yeah, that looks like a dark bluish grey. There we go. And that's going to connect. It's going to have the axle hole facing up. So it's going to go on the end of this blue pin here. It's going to have the axle hole facing up. And then you've got to drive a blue pin through long ways. So it's going to go through that bar and then through that black bar like so, and it won't move. So it's pretty stable. Next, what we got is we got a 4 long axle with a stopper is going next to that 2-hole connector that we just put in. Keep your thumb behind. Just to hold that that pin so it doesn't fall, and put your moon gear. There's a moon gear that's going to go on this. I call them moon gears because they look like moon wheels, you know. So you're going to have nicknames for everything, and it should have a little bit of freedom. If not, just pull it out just a touch, not too much, and then you've got it. Right. Next is a connector on the end of that. I'm sorry if you're seeing messages coming through. There's quite a few people that are liking the comments that we've been hanging about on other people's YouTube channels and checking them out and getting to know each other. Right, so the connector is going to go on there, and then we got a red axle 2 going on the end of that. And this is going to locate, so keeping it this way around, and this is coat hanger side, so this is going in coat hanger side. This is going to go, I think, yeah, that pin there is going to locate into that blue L shape like so. So it's going to hold that in place. I don't quite... Oh, I see. Right. This gear is touching this big gear here. That's how you know you're in the right place on that. So that's the wheels. Don't know if you can see that moving, but it is actually moving there. And then we're going to repeat, and it looks like we're just going to close it off. So another 11 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Same again with the pins. So 1 pin on one side, 2 pins next to each other on the other side. Keeping it that way, we got 2 pins going in here from this side, from the front. So it's like that. And then 2 hole gap. Put your thumb. So you got 1, 2. Put your thumb over the second one so you know where you're going to drop that pin. It's going to go in long ways, so it's going to be half in, halfway through. Like I say, half in, half out. It's not. It's halfway through, isn't it? Really. Then we put in another 5. Light grey, light bluish grey on the pins, using the blue pin as a locator. And oh, that's right. Yeah, the dark bluish grey is going to attach to this. It shouldn't be hard to find a dark bluish grey connector, should it? I can see it. It's going to go there. Axle hole up, like so, and then drive the blue pin, long blue pin, long ways in, just to secure it into that bar. It's still moving until you drive it through the black bar there. Now it's solid. And then we're going to locate this on the other blue L shape. And also your red axle here is going to meet up with the hole just after the blue pin. So those should go in there, and that keeps that mechanism in place quite nice and tidy. This is still a, oh, I see. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be like that. Oh, I don't know. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Ooh, a T-bar. Right, how many? 2. So there's 1 going on each side. T-bar is upside down. It's black, and this looks like a perfect shape for the T-bar right here. So that's where that's going to go. You locate in 2 pins, blue, 1 at the top and 1 in the end of the T-bar. The axles don't need to be located too much. You don't have to worry, but it's just giving those a little wiggle, and that there you go, and that is going to stop this tipping up and down. Now it's secure, and that's what I was just questioning, actually. So it's not going to actually function. There is no function for it. So drive those in, and now it's solid. 2 blue pins. They're going to drop in at the dark bluish grey pieces there. The pieces that I was saying there we go. Make sure your axle holes are facing up. So 2 blue pins are going to go into either side. And that, like that. Oh, and then we got red bushings are going to go either side of these axles as well. 1. That's like chewed up. No, it's just my eyes. My eyes are chewed up. Right, there we go. 9 long bar, which is one of these. Light bluish grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Always count, even if you're quite sure. It's always good to count. So this is going to go across here. We got 2 black pins going somewhere as well, and 2. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Great. Okay. So it's going to down there. Blue pin should be on either side. Just give it a bit of a wiggle because they are pins that you're locating, not axles. They can be a bit tricky. I think the pins and the axles are what's making up the piece count here for the 414 piece. I can't believe it's 414. Quality, isn't it? Right. So 1 hole connector, black pin, and it's going to go in like so, and then the axle is going to go in on the end of this. Push it all the way through, and then we got another one going in there as well. So get that. and we want the pin, black pin, like so, and that's going to go on the other side. So the pins are facing out because something's going to pin on to the front. It's kind of obvious, but it's not. Small black L shapes, and they are going to attach to the axle and the pin here on the front. Not the ones that you just put in, but these ones here. So it's going to locate into the axle hole. So it's going to be a bit of a fine push, and then you just got to wiggle to get that pin located, push it all the way in, and we've got two of those. And it's just kind of like the seven shape. Like that. And two more. Okay, so we're going two more of these, and they're going to go on either side of the 7. Right, okay, so we've got this one, black pin, same again. So you got 2 pins now facing out. So we want that, and we want a black pin. I'm actually running low on black pins. That's for a Technic build at this time. I guess that's right, because it builds the structure. All right, so we got, what was that, a 3-hole bar. Here we go, 3-hole bar. 2 black pins are going to go. We're building 2 of these, so 1 in the middle and 1 on the right. So that's 1. And we got the 3 black bar. And we're going to do the same thing. So we got 2 that look like that. And so they're coming in on the back here. Okay. So that middle piece is going to go into the elbow of the 7 there. So that middle pin is going in there. So you could have this like slight tilting motion at the moment. And that one in there. Now then. Ah, this looks like headlights or something. Okay, so the long face, because it's eyes and like a long face. Short, very short. There we go. Short pin, blue pin with stud end. I'll pop those in there because that's what's going to attach the trans red 1x1 circular plates on there, and then you've got tail lights. We're going to do 2 of those, so we need another long face. There we go. And then 2 short blue pins with stud ends. These are very cool pieces for like holding detail like this, or beacons. I've seen them being used as beacons as well, which is really cool. Could learn a lot from that. Trans red. So we got our 2 tail lights there. Now then, how are they going to be fitted? Okay, so they look like they are going to pin to these 2 pins here. That's what it looks like. Making sure your lights are facing out, not into the build, but out of the build. Push them in like that, and you should have something like that. And there you go. And those definitely look like tail lights. Oh, hello. Ah, looks like seats. Right, okay. Big blue L shapes. Then we're going to put long pins, and they're going to go short end in first. So short end in at the top. 1 whole space, 1 in the middle. 1 in the elbow. And 1 in the middle at the bottom. So you got that kind of thing. We're going to do 2 of these. So we want that looks like a 3 black long bar. It's going to go into these top here just to give that seat a bit of pattern. And then we've got a short L in the shape of a gun, and it's going to go like that. So that's flush, that's flush, and that's kind of sticking out. That's a tail. That's what's going to anchor the seat. And then we're going to cover that over with a blue L after that. There might be this gap here. It looks like there's a gap on the diagram. So we want we want a long blue L just to close it off, and we're going to build 2 of these. So yeah, that looks like a seat to me. So we want that, and we want blue pin in the top, one in the hole space, then one in the elbow, and then one in the middle at the bottom. And then once again, a 3-hole beam black, and then close it off with a large blue L. And that looks like the last one. No, you know what I'm missing? I'm missing the black gun. There you go. You've got to have something to sit on. It's no good having just a backrest. Right. There we go. 2 seats. And these are going to locate. Right, so let's make sure we got the steering at the front. So these are going to locate on these 2 pins here, by the looks of things. Like that. So they're not like that. No. That's not the way the seats goes. It's like that. So there you go. That's what it's like. So it should have like a little bit of rocking motion at the moment. So on the 2 pins there, and there you go. You've got your seats. Right, so we got a 5-axle with a 1-hole connector. So we got a 5-axle, 1-hole connector. Looks like the 1-hole connector is going almost halfway, and then it's going to go in. So make sure your seats are facing the right way, and it's going to go into this axle hole here, and make sure they're facing up, not down. So facing up, drive the axle through, and then it's going to be closed off with another one of those 1-hole connectors. Keep your thumb behind the axle, just push it on there. If it don't look even, just push it through just a touch, and you should get something like that. Looks right. Looks good to me. Headlights now, by looks things. Okay. All right. So periscope. We want periscope, 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 periscope. Am I going blind? Or have I actually run out of periscopes? No, I haven't. I'm going blind. Dish, 2x2 dish. Really cool piece that's been around for a while. And then a trans clear 1x1 plate, circular. And there you go, you got your headlight. And we got 2 of those. So hopefully I'm going to find another periscope. That one was tricky. He was hiding. There it is. And then we want a 2x2 dish. Where's the 2x2 dish? There it is. Pop that on the end. And then we want a trans clear. There it is. 1x1 circular plate. And then these are going to attach to the ends of the axles that you just push through. Have the dish facing out. So it's like it is your headlights. Like that. Cool. I mean, we haven't even got in. Oh, I was going to say, we haven't even got into the engine part yet, but there we go. Here's the engine part. All right, so we're going to put that aside just a little bit. We'll keep it on display as best as we can. So we've got these frames here. Turn them upside down. Drive a blue pin long ways in one corner, like so. A short pin with stud is going to go in that end there, and then we got another one going in that end there. So we'll sort those first, like that. And then we've got a short, no, that's it. Okay. And then we got the engine blocks, right? So we're doing how many of these? 3. Okay, so engine block upside down, you got the things. Doesn't really matter until you mount it. So we've got 2 black pins going in there. This is kind of your typical engine build. Then pop another 2 black pins. And then another engine block. So make sure they're facing the same way. And not. You could have a very interesting engine if you had that. 1 block upside down. So just make sure they're pointing the same way. And then 2 more black pins. Alright. And this is going to put the frame, this is what the frame's going to attach to. Yeah. So frame upside down again, engine block, that pin, that stud, those are going to go into those holes there. The stud's going to go into that, the pin's going to go into that. And it should look like that. Oh, right, now we're doing the camshaft. Okay. These are always a little bit tricky to do. Have a little bit of patience with it. So we got cam connector, and then we've got the piston arm. So make sure the piston arm is facing the right way. Have this like chamfered edge here facing in, or it's facing out sort of thing, but it's going to be actually facing in the engine, because if you have it the other way round, you're going to get this gap. You know that's going to be wrong as well. But when you've got the next one next to it, you start to take up a bit too much room. So what we do is you turn them around, and then the other one goes the other way. So the chamfered edges actually go together like that, and you see you got this seamless connection, which is really cool. No gaps. And that's kind of how the pistons get done. And then we go put another one of these on there. Make sure that this is facing up. So your black axle is at the bottom. It's very important because this is going to go on like so, and you kind of got this up, down motion. And then we go attach a red 2-pin or two axle on there, and then 2 more piston arms, same way, with the I think it's chamfered edges, and they're going to be facing into each other, so they got that seamless connection. And then again another one of these connectors, but it's going to go up. Hang on a minute. It will. There we go. So you got this down, up, down, up. And then it'll be another red axle. In there like that, and another 2 pistons. I'm not even looking at the instructions. I kind of know how these are done after doing the Spitfire. Okay, so, and then we go close that off with one of these. Make sure it's facing down again, so then you've got this even. The bar, the axle is here, meets up with here in line with. It's going to be all very important. And I've actually got a little bit ahead of myself there. This is a bit of a strange way of building it, but hey. You're using this... Oh. This yellow piece is the last piece. So it's like that. And then we're going to attach the pistons next. Hold the piston arm really firm. Just give it a bit of a wiggle and they'll snap on. Yeah, I'm guessing that red axle is going to be for something else then. So you got that. Now here's the tricky part, is locating them into the block. Again, it's upside down. Just try and meet these three up. Sometimes it's easier to dangle them down because then they don't like swing like that. Now then, the hard part is keeping them in place. That's the hard part. Keeping them in place is kind of tricky. So we're going to put that aside there for now. We're going to build the other side of the engine block. So 2 black pins. Like that. Oh, that's a blue pin. I'm not looking. Like that. Engine block. Black pins. Black pins. Black pins. Black pins. And engine block. And then 2 more black pins. Alright. Got a few black pins left, but not many. Okay, so is this where we're going to... Right, so we go... Oh, that's what the red axle's for. Right, okay, so go poke that through and connect that last piece of the cam together. There we go. Push it through and it's in place. It's not going to fall out. Now then, line these pistons up with them dangling out just slightly, and then you got to maneuver these connectors onto the pin connector, and then we're going to be driving a blue pin in here to secure it in place, is my guess. No, what? Wow, that's bizarre, but okay. So we go close off this side with the other part of the frame. Now you've got 4 pins to marry up. It's kind of a solid build, so you can give it a good wiggle. Don't be afraid. Just give it a really good wiggle. Now this could be like one of the most frustrating pieces of this build, but a little bit of patience and you got it. And there, now test your engine out, just twist it and you should have all the pistons working. Perfect. Nice. Like it. I like it a lot. Turning it upside down, axle facing this way, we got a black pin that's going in here in the middle at the top, and then we put the blue pin in there just to keep that other part going through, so that's good. And then we got another black pin going in the middle on the other side like that. So keeping it upside down, we've got 2 connectors that are going to go in beside the red axle. There's one, and it looks like the holes are going across. They're going to be facing across and not up and down like that. So they're going to be facing across like that. Where is the other one? There it is. So, because it looks like something's going to drop through and keep that in place. Or is going to be a gear on here? No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one. Oh, okay, we're leaving that. Pop that there then. And 7 axle, not the 9 axle. There we go, 7 axle. 3 black 2-hole connectors. 3. I don't see 1. I don't see a single one. I don't see a single one. Why? Oh, there's one. Oh, are they dark bluish grey? Is that why I'm not seeing them? Yeah, there's another one. That's because I was looking for the wrong colour. There we go. And kind of even them out a little bit. And then we got a 1 axle, 1 hole block connector. There you go, axle and hole. Obviously it's going to go axle, and we're putting 1 on each side. Okay, there's the other one. Like that. And then we've got 2 blue pins going in, short end first on either side of those. And then we've got 2 black pins going in either side and not the middle one. So we got 1, 2. Then we got the 8 long axle is going through the middle hole of the middle connector with a very small gear on the end. Keep your thumb, you're going to need it behind there, and slowly rotate just to make sure you got some room. Then it's got a black connector, not that the axle is long enough already, but we got a black connector, one that I saw way earlier in the build, and there. And then we got a 4 axle, so yeah, we're getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so we want a 4 axle on the end. Then it's going to have a bushing, grey bushing all the way to the end, like so. Then we've got connector going across, and then we've got, it looks like a moon gear on the back end. We got 1 more moon gear left. I wonder what this is going to be. Interesting. Oh, it's going to attach to the engine. Okay, so make sure we got the engine the right way. So we got the axle facing that way. The axle's going to be going in the top hole of this part of the build, like that. Okay, and then these 2 pins are, these 2 black pins here are going to locate in either side of the axle, like that. We might be putting a gear on here because then that will turn the pistons. Yep, another small gear is going to go on here. Slightly rotate it just to give it a bit of a wiggle to see if it's going to fit, and test it out a bit. You got a smaller motion move now instead of the rapid. And ooh, look at that, we're putting it into the vehicle. Right, so okay, these blue pins, there's a lot of pins to marry up. No, there's actually 2. There's actually 2. They're going to go into the top of these black pieces here, and it's just these 2 blue pins. There we go. Slides in place. Now then, these are not behaving themselves. There we go. Slightly lift that, and that gear is going to attach to or make connection with the back gear there. Now then, how are we fastening this in place? Oh, I see. Okay, so 2-axle connector with 4 long axle. Doing 2 of these, so 1. There's a 4-axle and there's a connector. That's 2, and these are going to go on these black axles here and through here, and they should drive the axle through this connector here. This could be a bit fiddly. Probably hold it like downright and then axle in the top. Once you got one in, there you go. Once you got one in, it shouldn't be too hard to get the other one in. So axle in the hole, and slightly push that axle out. There we go. And now that's solid. So now we should have, if we turn this, these pistons would work. And there you go. That's how your engine's going to work. And then you got your hand of God steering as well. Cool. Right, so 2 black small L shapes, and they look like they're going to attach to this. The L shape's going to be going out towards the front, so it looks like... Oh, I see. It's going to... So there's a little bit of instability here. So they're going to close this off and make them a bit more stable. So it's going to go on the 2 blue pins and then the black pin in front. Like that. Another L shape, small. Attach it to that. It's going to go into that one, into the axle, push it home like that. Now it's solid. I like these go faster, like, oh! It's like turbo. Alright, so we've got a 3-axle and 1 hole connector. Pop it in the middle, like so. 2 fire hydrants. Okay, 2 fire hydrants, and so keeping it so it's that way with a hole down the bottom there. 2 fire hydrants, and have them facing out, not down. Oops. Have them facing out like, my gosh, can't. It's alive, like that. Not facing down like that, but like that. And then we've got 2 8-axles. So on either side of these look like laser cannons. Anybody want to build for a laser cannon? There you go. Those are laser cannons. And then we got 2 smooth sleeves going down there. These will rotate. Another one. And then we're going to close that off with a 2-axle connector. You might need a little bit of a wiggle. Oh, those are quite good connectors, actually. Those are quite tough. Oh, and then it looks like you have the slots facing up. I don't think it really matters if they rotate. Oh yeah, I think it's just for aesthetics more than anything else. Then we go drop a H shape. So we got another connector going in behind that. Okay. Like so. Then we go drop a H shape on top of that. Like that. And then this is going to go on top. Okay, so it's going to locate on this black pin here. So like that. Cool. Looks like a supercharger. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? It's going to be a supercharger. And then we got 2 smooth connectors going on the other sides. Where's the other smooth connector? There it is. So like that. This one turned around. Like I say, I don't think it's really important. It's just aesthetics, isn't it? Might be important. Never know. Car can't function like that, Shaun. Oh. Okay, so then we're closing off the other side by making the same thing, like the build of the laser turrets. So we want a one hole connector. There it is. 3 axle. There it is. It's going to go across. Alright, so this is going to have the fire hydrants facing up. Like that. Turn it around. And it's going to locate on that black pin there and these 2 axles here. Marry the axles up first. And then push the black pin home. Squeeze it real tight and then try and rotate these. I don't think they're going to. They're not going to stop rotating. I don't think. But there you go. It's kind of cool. Oh, front grille, nice. This looks cool. 1x4 Technic brick, and it's going to have a special brick with the vents. I don't know if you can see these lines going down, but on the other side the lines go across. It's kind of cool. But for this we're having a radiator, so we're having the lines going down. Then we got 2 small 1x1 plates on either side of it. Then we've got another special brick. Now you can mix it up and turn it around and have the lines going facing the other way if you like, but we're going the same way. So you go kind of get that nice little radiator grill piece. Then we've got 1x1 bricks going up the side. This is really forming the radiator quite nicely, actually. It's very cool part usage. And then we've got the 2 curved bricks that are going to go over the top. That's what the plate was for, just to make that distance up for that plate, for the edge of the plate there, like that. And then we're going to cap that off with a jumper, which is really cool because that makes the whole thing smooth. And then just to really put the thingy on it, we are going to cap that off with a grey. Well, I would think it would be silver, but it's going to be grey. Yep. No, it's actually, it looks like it's actually silver. A grey 1x1 circular plate, and it's going to attach to these 2 grey pins here. And the holes there, like that. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? That is so cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. Looks good. Starting to look like a hot rod now. Right, so... Oh, right. Now we're doing the exhaust. These look cool. Crank handle, short crank handle. We're going to do 2 of these. So we got short crank handle, long piece facing up, and then we got a 5 grey, and it's going to go 1 hole from the edge. So you got 1 hole, and then pin goes in there, and then you got 2 blue. Actually, you got 3. So there's 1 is going to go into the far end. Then you got a hole, and then you got the other end, and then it's going in the other end. So it's like 1 pin, space, pin, space, pin. Then we're putting these buckets. Really cool part usage of these buckets. It really is. So the buckets are going to go on the ends here. And they are buckets because they got these little pins here that are sticking out for the handles. So cool. Right, we need 2 of those. I'll do that. 1 in one end. Where's the other blue pins? one in the middle, and one in the far end, if I can, like that. And then buckets. Buckets! Uh-oh. Oh, I'm losing my buckets. Oh, there it is. There you go. And then these are going to attach to... Oh, I see. These are going to attach to... Wait a minute. Why don't we have an axle on here? Why don't we have an axle? I'm guessing they're 3 axles, so we'll pop 3 axles in there, like so. And they're going to hold that in place. That's going to be in like that, and it's going to lock this in because that axle is going to go right through, and then it don't spin, because at the moment while it's on the crank handle it kind of spins, but that's what this axle's for. It's to locate through the crank handle and then straight, as you can see. Hang on a minute, I lift it up a touch. Oh, there you go. It's still kind of spinning, but it's just about meeting, and then just push it all the way through and it won't spin. And there you go. You got your exhaust. That's really cool. It's really cool. Right, so we got 2 black 6 plates. 2 of these black 6 plates. And these are going to go behind the seats. 2 pins behind the seats. So you got 2 pins here. And these are going to go there. I think that's both of them. I don't know. No. So are they going to be side by side? Okay. Interesting, because it says 2. So, all right. Might be 2. I wonder why we're not using 6-hole bars. Right, so we got plate 2. So this is going to be a hole, and then drop that through. Short end first, space, hole, and space right at the end, like that. And then this is going to drop into a second plate, like that. Oh, I see. Okay, so what is that? An L shape that's going on top? That's an L shape and a 3. So the 3 is going to go on the end of those, and then the L shape's going on the end here, like that. Alright. 2 L shapes. I wonder whether they're doing this 2-2 thing. Like that. I think. Then we're dropping an axle through here, so that's making up 4 pins now. Then we're dropping a 5-bar on there, like that. And then we're putting a grey frictionless pin through there. Frictionless, it rotates. It's probably going to give us an angle or something like that. Yeah, it looks like it's roof. Okay, so it's going to be fixed in with a dark tan, and it's going to go through there. Okay, so turn the model around so we have it facing the right way. It's going to go through here and then attach to this here. Push it. Oh yeah, it's 2 plates, isn't it? Kind of push it through like that. So yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be the roof, but it needs the angle, hence the frictionless plate. pin. Okay, so we got a 3-axle, 2 black connectors, 1 on either side. This is probably going to form the roof, or yeah. And then this is going to attach to that tan pin poking through. So it's going to be bar back. Okay, this looks rather interesting. Something's going to go from here to here. Okay, so what we want is this. A dark bluish grey pin, and that's going to go through. Dark bluish grey pin with stopper. Hold it in place and then attach the shorter curved part to that axle, and it will move because you're going through some bars and then it goes into that thing. So that's that. And then we've got a grey pin that's going to attach to the elbow of that. So again, it's frictionless. So we got some movement. And then we got an 11 bar. It's going from that grey pin. Oh, it's going from this grey pin. It's just pushing it apart. That grey pin there to this grey pin here. I don't know if yeah, there we go. On the end there. Oh! Yeah. I think... I'm not sure if that's supposed to do that. We'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, see, there's the connection there. So it looks right. And then we're going to finish off the Hand of God steering. Okay. So we got I think we need to keep our thumb behind it. So we got large grey bushing, then a short grey bushing, which makes up the gap for the black connector. This goes on there, and then I'm guessing we're going to put another. Oh, we're done for that. Done with that for now. Okay. One of these, and then a grey pin with blue pin with stud. Looks like that should have been chrome as well. So we need some chrome 1 by 1. Put a clear one on because it could be the fuel tank, and then that's going to attach to the axle here while it's laying down, so it's like up. And then we got a 11 bar is going to go all the way across here to make the bumper bar looks things like that. There we go. And then oh yeah, we're doing the other arm, right? Cool. So let's locate this first, I think. Grey pin in the elbow, right way. Then the black bar on the end of that, and then we're going to put that there, and we're driving an axle, a 4-axle through. We've got a 4-axle. Why do we not have a 4-axle? Oh, it's hiding. It's hiding. That's 4-axle, it's hiding. You know, the 4-axle is actually quite a common part. It's so common I can't find one. Give me a moment, and I will find one. There we go. Find one I have. Right, we won't do that. Yeah. Right. So this is going to go through here. So we're going to pop that in there first. Then locate the axle hole on that and slightly turn it. And then we're going to marry it up with there in the middle. And it should be good. Now then, what is going on here? We've got the beam here. And we need to make the next part of the roof, I guess. Where's my... There it is. Great connector there. And we got 1, 6. Oh right, yeah, this is the roof part. Yep. So 1 hole, and that. And then drop it on another plate. Wiggle it through, because it might push those pins through. And then we got the L plates and the three bar. So the 3 bar is going to go there, and the L plates. Two L plates, yeah. There. Then we're dropping a blue pin with axle in the L plates just to secure it. Oh, then the 5 bar over the top just to close that off. And then we're dropping a 5 axle. So we got 5 axle into that hole there. Not pushing it all the way through. It's going through some plates. Just push it level with the bar there. And then locate it. So now then. Going to be easier said than done. So that's going to go in there. Like that. Then this is going to go in. These are in the wrong place. So what can we do about that? Oops. They're supposed to go like that. Pin. Axle. Yeah, that looks good. There we go. Cool. Now then. Oh. Yeah, it's still not folding back up though. I'm not sure about I'm not sure about that. Not sure about that. But maybe it's not supposed to move. Maybe it's eventually it's going to thingy. So is this 2 plates? Yes it is. So 2 plates. And then is it in top? I think it is. Yeah, it is. And then on these 2 pins, like so. And then another plate. I don't know whether you use plates and not bars. Like that. Oh, right. So we're not using stickers because this is James Yorke's stuff and he never used stickers purely because he wants to preserve the value. So 2 pins in there. We would put stickers on. And then this is going to go on this blue piece here. So it's like flush. I'm going to say we're going to do the other side as well. This is me getting ahead of myself again. Like that. And that. Oh, look at that. Okay, I see what's going on here. But it's not doing it. It's going to fold away the top, isn't it? That's going to be so cool. if it's going to do that. If it's going to be like, you know, like the old Mercs with the hard soft tops that fold inside the boot type thing. Right, so there's got this. We've got this connector here. 2 blue pin with axle are going to go in either side of this connector. And then this connector is going to go into, helps if you put the axle in, into here. So I've got to locate these pins. Oh yeah. Into this panel. Ow. There we go. That's one. And then we've got the crank handle with the 3 axle. And it's going to go like that. So it looks like that. And then that's going to go on top. So that pin's going to locate in the last hole there, like that. Oh, where's that going to go? Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Well, how's that going to connect to that? I'm missing something. Ooh, okay. Maybe it will reveal itself. Oh, I see. It's this pin and this hole and this hole here. That's what's going to be. There we go. Nice. We'll do the other side now. So, 2 blue pins. Try not to pinch my finger this time. There we go. And then we're going to do that funny looking thing with the 3 axle. This is, again, this is me going ahead of myself, like so. Drop that in like that, and then those 2 in like that. So you got these 2 axles facing up at the front of the car, because it's going to be the windscreen, isn't it? See, look, I'm way ahead of myself there, look, but it paid off. Right, we got bushing on this axle here, and the last moon gear is going to go on here. So I'm guessing this is going to be the action of the roof. Let's see how it works. Oh, is that's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, now I can see why it's how it comes back, because if you do it like this, you're not going to get that motion up. It will fold, you know, it will fold, but that's it. It's not coming back. But with this, actually gives it a bit. That is so cool. It folds away the top. That is so cool. I love it. That is so cool. Yeah, good job, designer. Good job, designer. Right, okay, so we're almost finished by all those things. So this is going to be your steering column. So we've got 2 pins, 1 on each side. And a pin, 1 hole, drop the pin. It's going to be the axle facing out, because that axle is going to go into the steering wheel like that. It will turn, but it won't. It's not going to turn the wheels. Okay, just bear in mind, it is not going to turn the wheels. Now then, is this sitting loose, or is this going into the bodywork? Like, it's going to go into there, isn't it? Like that. There we go. Cool. Nice. Very nice. I love this. I'm sorry. I love this. That is such a cool feature. Right, yeah, front windscreen. Right, so it's not really a windscreen as such. There's the 9 axle. This is what the 9 axle is going to be used for. Put the right angles in there on either side, and then they're going to go onto the ends of these axles here, and that kind of gives you the front windscreen, half cut front windscreen looking thing, because it's a very low top hot rod. We can see the supercharger sitting on top. Ah, talking about a supercharger. Here we go. We're actually building the supercharger. Right. So it's going to go through here on either side. And there's stud holes on each side. And then you're going to put a no, it's a 3-hole brick. And then it's all these connectors all the way down. Okay. Like that. And then plop that on top of here. Like so. Here you got your supercharger. Nice. It's so cool, this set. This set is so cool. I'm going to have to say, I like this set. Alright, it's wheels time. So we got a whole load of bushings here. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. It's best to have too many than not enough. Okay, so, oh, I see the bushings are going to be wheel caps. Right. Just move the wheels around. So these are dual-sided wheels. You got like the industrial and you got the racing. Looks like we're using industrial. So you got that sunken in look. So just turn around the tires. Just make sure they're kind of even on either sides. And you can see the difference now. We're using this. Because once we put the bushings on, it's going to look pretty cool. Now, sometimes these tires don't go on very well. There we go. And one. Alright. Cool. And then just go push these on. Yeah, you can have them either way. I mean, that looks kind of cool. It does look kind of cool, but we're going to go with the model. So it's like that. So you got that sunken in thing. And then you got to put the bushing on top. So you got this red cap on the bushing, which is kind of cool. And I think that's why they're using the sunken piece, so that you can use the red caps or the red bushings. Just to give it that bit more hot roddy look. Like that. Is that a word? Hot roddy? I don't know. Like that. I'm going ahead of myself again. I wonder what it looks like that. I mean, it does look pretty cool, but they're racing wheels. I do like the fact that they have a dual purpose. And there you go, folks. That is the hot rod. He says, oh, we've only got 2 parts left, so it has to be the hot rod, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. It is. Let us get rid of the instructions for a second so that you can see it. I'm not sure about the hand of God steering there. It feels like there's an axle and a gear missing on it. But that is not what it looks like. It's actually, it is, see, there's no gear and it's just a thing there. So yeah. So we got the hand of God steering, which is actually very functional, and you can see the pistons are moving, which is really, really cool. You see both sides there. And let's not forget this feature. I'm sorry, that side on, that is, let's do it from behind here. That is a really clever design. I love it. It's a great set. Folks, if you enjoyed what you saw today, this is kind of cool. And I'm sorry, it's going to have to... that is so good. That is so good. If you enjoyed the content, give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Don't be shy. If you didn't like it, don't matter. Hit that like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you have this? What have you done with it? What kind of mocks have you done? I know these two pieces here are wrong. I need to go and replace those with chrome. I do like the use of the bucket. There's a lot of really cool part usages on this, and I'm actually surprised that it's not the big investment it is when it's used, to be honest with you. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, folks. I'm Shaun from BRIT'N Bricks. Peace.